Hello students, today we are going to study the topic that is neutralization from the chapter acid, base and salt. In the earlier video we saw what is an acid, what is a base, what are the natural indicators that are used to detect acid and base. In this video, we'll be seeing the indicators that are used in lab for detecting acid and base and the neutralization process. Before heading towards the neutralization process, let's see the indicators that are used to detect whether a given substance is acid or base in a lab. Yes, in a lab, you'll use something known as litmus paper. There are two types of litmus paper, blue and red. So, how is this litmus paper formed? Yes, the litmus papers are formed from the extract of a lichen. So, the extract is taken and to that extract, if you add water, it will turn into purple. And if you add an acid, it will turn to red, and if you add a basic solution, it will turn to blue. So how do you prepare this red litmus paper? You take the extract, add an acid, and the extract will turn into red. And after that extract has turned into red, you dip the paper that is used for testing. So, and at last after that you get a red litmus paper. And for blue, what will you do? Yes, you will take the extract, add some basic solution, and as the solution turns blue, you will dip the paper inside that solution and you will get a blue litmus paper. This is how you get the litmus paper. So there are mainly two types of litmus paper that is used in lab. That is the red litmus paper and the blue litmus paper. Now let's study about each of these paper in detail. So what happens to a red litmus paper? How can we detect whether a given substance is acid or basic from a red litmus paper? Is when you dip the red litmus paper in a basic solution, it turns into blue. So if a red litmus paper turns blue, it means that the given solution is basic in nature. But if the red litmus paper do not change at all, that means it may be either acidic or neutral. So this is how red litmus paper are used to detect the basicity or whether a given substance is acidic or basic. Now, how is a blue litmus paper used? In a blue litmus paper, if it is dipped in a basic solution, there will be no change. And if it's dipped in a neutral solution, there is also no change. When a basic litmus paper is dipped into an acidic solution, it will give a color change. That is, the blue litmus paper will turn red. That means the given solution is acidic in nature. So, by using red litmus paper, we can say or we can detect whether a given solution is basic if it turns red to blue. And by using the blue litmus paper, we can say whether a given solution is acidic when the blue litmus paper turns from, yes, blue to red. Now, how will we detect a neutral solution? Yes, when you dip both the blue or red litmus paper and it has no change at all, that means the given solution is neutral in nature. So when there is no change in both the litmus paper from a given solution, that means that solution is neutral in nature. Now, these litmus paper only tells you whether a given solution is acidic or basic. It doesn't tell you the pH value. Is there anything that will tell you the pH value? Yes, there is something known as universal indicator which will tell you the pH value of a given solution. So these universal indicator, as you can see, are same strip like papers, and these papers are different from that of the litmus paper. So these universal indicator will tell you whether the pH value of a given solution. So when you dip the universal indicator, it changes its color. There are various shades of color that is changed to. So according to the change in color, we can say or we can detect the pH of a given solution. So for A, you can say the pH is around 11 to 12. B, you can say it is around 9 to 10. C is 7 to 8 or 7. And D is 6 and E is 2. So according to these color change, you can observe the chart and tell what is the pH value of the given solution. This is how the universal indicator is used. Now let's study about the neutralization process. So in the neutralization process, what happens is an acid react with a base to give salt and water. So what we are doing here is that when there is more base, you are adding an acid and bringing it to neutral. That's why this is known as neutralization process. Or you can say in this way also, when there is more acid, you are adding base and bringing it to neutral. So by adding base or acid when a solution turns into a salt, that process is known as neutralization process. Now, how do we do it in the lab? Yes, here we take the acidic solution with the indicator in this conical flask, and in this burette you put the basic solution, and drop by drop you add the base into the solution. The solution at initial point is pink in color, and after adding certain amount of drop, the whole solution turns into a transparent liquid. That's the point when we know that the solution has turned into a neutral solution. This process is known as the titration process. So for doing this titration process, the indicator used here is phenolphthalein. Now, where are these neutralization process used in our daily life? Let's observe that. In our daily life, as we all know, our stomach consists of an acid known as HCl or hydrochloric acid. When there is more amount of hydrochloric acid in your stomach, what happens? There is indigestion, you have acidity, or you have pain in the stomach. During that time, you are given antacids like milk of magnesia or ENO. What does they do? They are base which are added to this acid, and what does it do? It neutralizes the effect of acid. So after having the milk of magnesia or the ENO, you feel more comfort. So here in this process also neutralization takes place. The next is when an ant bites. You have seen after when an ant bite, what happens? You feel itching and that part swells up. That's because in the ant sting there is something known as formic acid. So from the word itself, it suggests it's an acidic substance. So to neutralize an acid, what will you do? Yes, you will apply basic substance. So you can apply moist baking soda, or you can apply calamine solution. So this calamine solution contains zinc carbonate, which is basic in nature. So what will this do? This basic solution will neutralize the acid effect. The next is the soil treatment. The soil cannot have excess of acid or base. When they have excess of acid or base, it harms the plant growth. So due to use of excessive chemical fertilizers, what happens? The acidity in the soil increases and the plant do not grow well. So when the soil is too acidic, what will you do? Yes, you will add something basic. So what do you add? You add quicklime, calcium oxide, or slake lime. So these is added to the soil to decrease the acidity of the soil. And if the soil has become basic, what will you do? You will add some organic matter. So these organic matters releases acid, which neutralizes the soil. So the soil treatment is done in this way. When there is too acidic soil, you will add quicklime or slake lime, and if the soil is basic, you will add an organic matter. Now the last is the factory waste. As you all know, from the industry, all the waste are released into the water bodies. So if these acids are released into the water bodies, what will happen? The fish and the organisms will be killed. So all the factories are advised, therefore, to neutralize the solution before releasing it into water. They treat it with bases so that not much harm is done to the water body. So this is the way how the neutralization process is helping in our day-to-day life. So today we studied about the lab method, how the acid or base is detected, the neutralization process, and how they are used in our day-to-day life. I hope you all understood. Thank you and have a nice day.